I feel like I've been the biggest loser here out of everything because Yankees losing the World Series was obviously a big letdown on my part. But on top of that, I was losing in all of my fantasy leagues. Apparently, I was losing so bad that ESPN kicked me out of all of my leagues. I can't access any of my fantasy teams anymore.
Wait, what? No way. Even in
Both fantasy teams that I have, yep, they're gone. I can't access them. I have tried for the last 4 days, and I'm ready to just give the fuck up. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I only have one more win over you in honor or the one I'm in with you.
I'm just done at this point. But one thing's for sure, I'm still beating Ben. So Ben, through all these L's that I'm taking, at least I can come to you for a W. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Nick's Picks. It is week 10 of the regular season, and I am joined, as I am always, by the joyous Benjamin. Ben, it is week 10 of the regular season. We just passed the trade deadlines. There were a couple of interesting trades that happened in the deadline, some of which I'm sure we'll talk about with Slowerr in a little bit. But to be honest with you, it was a pretty boring deadline.
Although there's only two really in my opinion, major ones. Even then, it wasn't.
And I don't even think they're turning the teams around. The ones that they're going to is like the Commies getting a cornerback.
Yeah, but that one was just the Lions getting a pass rusher and Zadarius Smith. But I don't know.
A quiet deadline means we don't have too much to talk about. So let's get right into the recap. But before we do, the current score of Nick's Picks, as Ben coughs, is 94-92. We both scored 10 last week, but I remain 2 points ahead of Benjamin because you were dumb and picked the Bears last week. But let's talk about that. Let's get into the recap of last week. And it started with, honestly, a surprise with the Jets beating the Texans on Thursday night. I mean, the Texans, like we said, they haven't been super impressive all year. I mean, we had all these high hopes for them. And they've been a good team. I mean, they're ahead of the AFC South. They're having a good season, but they're not convincingly winning any games. And they're losing games to a team that Slowerr said wasn't going to win a single game the whole rest of the season.
The irony that Slowerr said they're not going to win, and then they proceed to win.
Exactly. Also, I mean, the Giants held their own against the Commies. It was a better game than I thought it was
really well. They did really well.
I don't know if you saw this. First of all, surprised as fuck that the Dolphins managed to keep up with the Bills. Yeah. But did you see the play of Tua diving headfirst for a first down?
No, I didn't see that one. But
bruh, it's like he wants it.
I don't know if you've seen the clip. There's a clip of a woman on a subway that's empty, and it's just talking to no one. That's gonna be Tua in the next 2 years.
I got a lot of texts from Slowerr today on the trade deadline. He was convinced that the Packers were going to get Myles Garrett from the Cleveland Browns. I'm shocked that Myles Garrett is even still a Cleveland Brown to begin with. But yeah, they got their ass kicked by the Chargers, and it's just all going downhill for them.
I was gonna say I didn't think Myles Garrett was gonna get traded. I think he's gonna be an off-season trade if he does. But to the Packers, no.
The Panthers finally won a game. Their second,
and they caused the Saints to hire.
Their second win of the season, so they're tied with us and 10 other teams that are 2-7. So I realized there's something weird about the first half of the season. There's a lot of teams that are well above 500, 6-3, 7-2. And there's a lot of teams that are really 3-6 or 2-7. Not a lot of 4-4s and 5-4s out there, except for the NFC West.
It's literally the entire NFC West, and then the Colts. There's 2 or 3 outside of the NFC West.
Bengals won big. The Falcons did manage to beat the Cowboys, so a third challenge that you should have.
I'm so pissed off at myself. I need to just full send it.
And these are the challenges you would have taken last year, Ben. These are the points that you would have gotten last year. What is happening? You had the formula last year. You're letting it slip.
I got lucky with score predictions. What can I say? That was my formula last year was getting however many scores right.
Got the Falcons over me, but I made up for it because you picked the Bears again. Are you doing it again this week? I really got to know.
No. Actually, I don't even remember if I did.
Yeah, you did because they pllayed the Patriots, but I also
played the Patriots. So you know what? Yeah.
Sneak peek at our picks coming up later in the episode. Saquon Barkley had, I think, the play of the year. I can't even argue with it. I'm a Giants fan, and it hurts me to see him in an Eagles uniform every time he does something like this. But that is ridiculous. Who thinks to jump there? What possessed him to even try that?
It's not even hurdling, just in general. That's you do that on Madden. So that's normal. It's to do it backwards.
I don't
That
know
just
what possessed him
me.
to jump there. I just don't get it. The Lions beat the Packers. Slowerr will tell us how upset he is about that. The Rams went on to beat the Seahawks in overtime. The Vikings beat the Colts, and then the other overtime game that we had this week was the Chiefs and the Buccaneers. I mean, Tampa did all they could, but when they lost that coin toss, even Baker's face could tell you they knew.
I think the one thing that I saw was that people were getting at Todd Bowles for not going for 2 just to try and get the win. But like,
who normally does that? I get it. It's the Chiefs, so like you kind of have to assume, and you just have to beat the Chiefs when you have the opportunity to beat the Chiefs. But any other team, you wouldn't do that. I don't fault him for it, but
I think I would have considered it.
But that rounds out week 9, and like I said, the score is 94-92, still a 2-point lead, so nothing too comfortable, but I am still going to keep bragging every episode because, you know.
I want people to go back to this every single week, and every time when I was, even last year, I didn't. So I'm just going to stay humble.
Yeah, Ben did stay humble all last year, and I stayed cocky, and you know what? I've been cocky all 4 years, and I'm up 3-1. So
I was like, you know what? That's fair.
Let's get Slowerr in here. I know he has got a whole bunch of feelings going through him about the Packers and what they haven't done, and Jordan Love leading the league in interceptions and yada yada yada. So,
but is he actually?
Oh yeah. Let's get Slowerr in here.
No face cam today. I'm going through it.
Jordan Love is hurting your feelings.
We didn't hit the 7 likes again last video, so I guess I'll give you a pass. This is your guys' fault.
Yes. Fuck the people.
Bold statement as we're recording on election day.
For the people, fuck the people.
Slowerr, you're here. You got some hot takes for us. The Packers are going through it right now. You're going through it right now. Let's just get right into it. Let's dive right in.
And the first 2 are about the Texans.
Oh, we had some comments about them ourselves, so go on.
Well, first off, they're frauds. They are absolute frauds.
Bit far.
They are not winning. They're not even going to go to the AFC divisional.
I thought you were about to say they're not winning another game this season. I'm like, dude, you tried that last week with the Jets. It's not working.
Yeah, I know.
No, I do. We were discussing it. The Texans are not as good as we thought they were going to be, and we said, or we will, but I think this game against the Lions is going to be a big test for them. But I do think that the Texans haven't lived up to the expectations that we put on them this season.
I think that's also, there's always one team every year where they make these big trades, they make these big acquisitions, and we're like, oh my god, they're like the top team, and it's like it takes a while for that team to like grow and gel. And I think because we set these like very high expectations on them, everything's just gonna fall short of that. But I will admit though, saying all that, they've definitely underperformed with what they should be able to do. Like they've definitely lost games that they should have won.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, and because of that, now for my second hot take, I have 10 names for a list. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, CJ Stroud is not even the top 10 quarterback. I have 10 quarterbacks I would take over CJ Stroud right now.
Oh, I got to hear him out.
You guys want to hear this one?
Yep, fly through this list and we'll just say yes or no.
Okay, Baker.
No.
No.
Jared Goff.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Yes.
Stafford.
Yes.
No.
Jane Daniels.
Maybe.
I
have some head scratching things about Jaden Daniels. I have some certain things that I don't like in the eye test, but I mean, he's a talented quarterback.
Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Obvious, yeah.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 9 so far, and I'm just gonna throw. So I actually have 11 names in case you guys want to like toss one out there, but either Dak or Jordan Love.
I would take Love. I would take, even though with the interceptions, I know leading the league in interceptions, by the way, I would still take Jordan Love over CJ Stroud. I think the potential for Jordan Love is just higher.
I would take CJ over. I would take CJ over Dak.
I would take CJ over Dak.
I don't trust Dak at all. So the only one I would say is like Baker.
Baker's. I only said no really quickly to Baker. It actually requires a little bit more thought than that, but I still think I would take as far as potential goes, I have more of a future with CJ. This season, it's more 50-50, but I still think I would lead in CJ.
All right. Third one. Listen, they're 8-0. I'm not gonna lie. Screw everything I said before. They're gonna win the Super Bowl. Like I'm not even saying their name. I'm not gonna say anything else. Like they're gonna win the Super Bowl.
Well, I mean,
I
they're
don't
only
think-
an undefeated team. We know that.
Bro,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's even a fucking hot take no more. I don't know. What do you like? What are we supposed to do here? He injured Rashi Rice, and then he still fucking is able to do it. He's leading the league in close to the fucking interceptions. Travis Kelsey's fucking mid, and somehow he's still fucking great. I don't get it. I
think
don't get it.
I think this is just a ranting video for Slowerr now. I think that it was this one from Nick's picks to Slowerr ranting about the team that shall not be named, as we'll put a logo over. That's it. Actually, no. Should we put that? That should be his pictures.
Deal.
I'm just kidding.
I concur.
And Travis Kelsey is getting on one knee. He's going to propose to Taylor fucking Swift on the fucking field. They're going to beat the fucking Lions. And we're all going to sit there and be like, wow, this is the worst possible fucking ending again.
I'm going to be the optimist here. And maybe if the NFL is scripted, maybe, just maybe, the ultimate script is to not have them through. I don't know at this point, dude.
They're winning off of like a bullshit fucking non-call or like a bullshit call at like the very end, like the fucking Eagles Super Bowl. I swear to God. And Nick is sitting there fucking like putting his eyes together because he just knows. He just knows it. He's seeing it right now.
I think he's just laughing at this point.
I concur.
Bo Nix, dark horse, rookie of the year.
A lot of ground to make up. Lot of ground to make up. I think Jaden has that in his fucking pocket right now.
Dark horse.
Yeah, I give you that, and I think Drake May even is having a pretty good season, all things considered. Yeah, all the rookie quarterbacks are starting to come around. Kind of nice to see. I mean, in a way, not so nice when the Giants didn't get a single fucking one of them.
I think Bo Nix, and I hate saying it this way, I think he's the fourth best rookie, and that's, well, I would say either fourth or three, because obviously number one is Jaden, and I think number two is clear Caleb, and I think you could argue either one between Drake May or Bo Nix.
Caleb has a lot of talent around him, so their record doesn't, I don't think, make Caleb the clear two, but I'm not arguing that he's two. The word clear I would have omitted from that.
I have one more. I just want to say one thing. In my preseason picks, I picked the Cowboys to not make the playoffs. That's looking phenomenal right now. Dak Prescott is really injured too. Yes, round of applause for me, right? I think the Giants are going to finish with a better record than the Cowboys.
I hope not.
I was like, Nick wants them to do bad. Nick wants them to have a good pick.
I hope the fuck not. You better shut the fuck up now.
I mean, Dak's out for what, like 3 or 4 weeks now?
I don't give a fuck. Cooper Rush is better than Dak, so.
Cooper Rush is better than Daniel Jones.
Is that a hot take? Well, that's not a hot take, but Cooper Rush being better than Dak is a hot take.
All right. Wait. Cooper Rush or CJ Stroud?
Okay, CJ Stroud, but
CJ Stroud, shut the fuck up.
Cooper Rush just seems to work in this Cowboy system for some reason whenever he comes in.
I will say this though, if Cooper Rush goes in and he goes, yeah, here we go. I'm just not gonna.
Yeah, here we go.
I didn't even think about that, but thank God we don't have to hear "yeah, here we go" for 3 weeks,
at least 4 weeks. 3-4 weeks. Yeah, I'm surprised that it's not Trey Lance. That's
because nobody wants Trey Lance to start for their team.
I mean, that's fair.
There you go, Slowerr. Trey Lance or CJ Stroud.
Trey Lance or Daniel Jones?
Shut up.
Neither.
Blow up the team. Start over.
I'd rather have a McDonald's worker.
I'll take it for the $800 that you offered us in that whatever other video.
I got you.
I would take that over Daniel Jones or Trey Lance. Okay, before we let you go, we got to talk Packers with you a little bit. You were texting me earlier today, trade deadline. Packers move on from Preston Smith just to get nobody. I know you're going through it, and I just rubbed some salt in that wound, but how you feeling?
This is very much what the Packers do. I can't tell you last time that we made a move at all. And the only thing we did was get our 7th back after we traded for Malik Willis for his 7th.
At least Aaron Rodgers can go to bed tonight knowing it wasn't just him.
And now it's Jordan Love.
Jordan Love has plenty of help.
Does he? Because you're the one complaining about dropped passes by these shit wide receivers.
Well, okay, listen.
So is that help or no?
Sounds like not help to me.
It's rough. It's rough out here, okay?
Oh.
We don't have a fucking Rashi Rice out here, right?
I'm a Giants fan. I'm a Giants fan, and Ben's a fan of a team that could very well lose to the Saints this week. So we're right there with you.
I'm also the only fan of a team that blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. I don't care what you say. You have had back-to-back franchise quarterbacks when no other team in history has done that. So I don't want to hear your shit. All right.
I would take a quarterback. Doesn't have to be a franchise quarterback. Just like, you know,
Serviceable.
a serviceable quarterback.
I'll give you Malik Willis.
Yeah, okay.
Malik Willis.
Problem is, the Giants are probably going to get fucking Bryce Young. I hate my life. Slowerr, we love you. We appreciate you coming in and talking to us again. We will get back to our picks that we totally haven't already fully recorded.
Bet.
Already. So,
I love you, boys.
peace out.
See ya, man.
Peace.
Hey guys, post-production Nick here. Forgot to say this during the video, but here's our picks on the screen right now. Pause the video if you want to take a look at your special little team and see what we said about them. But let's get back to the actual video of us talking about these picks. I'm so good at this. All right, so we get into our Week 10 predictions, and it starts with the Thursday night game that you're watching tonight, and it's a good one. We actually get a good Thursday night game tonight. It is the Ravens going up against the Bengals. I was kind of close to picking the Bengals here, but the Ravens had such a good showing last week that I just kind of have to assume that they're going to keep that up.
Although, yeah, I have it as a close one, just because they did so well last week that I don't think they're going to do it in back-to-back weeks. But I still think that it's more so that the Bengals have started off way too slow. You can only do so much when you're basically playing behind all year.
We only have 2 differs this week, which is absolutely crazy. There was a lot of close games this week, so I kind of figured you were going to differ on a few other ones. But one of our differs this week happens to be on my team. And
I was like, yeah, I want to hear you out on this.
Not exactly how you'd expect this to go because, yeah, I have no faith. The Panthers have lost a lot of games this season, but in a lot of the games that the Panthers lost, the Panthers still scored 20 points. The Giants, on the other hand, when the Giants lose, they're scoring 9 or 13 or 6 or 0. They have to travel halfway across the fucking world to play this game, so I have no fucking faith.
To be fair, I have this literally. I was almost tempted to just make this 3-0.
The Panthers' offense puts up some points. It's just
I will say this. I think the Giants' defense will hold the Panthers' offense. I don't think the Panthers are going to do that much, but I honestly could see this just being like the Giants get literally one defensive stand, and it's still not going to make a difference because we're sorry, Germany.
We're sorry. Moving on to some of the good games we have this week. I think the Chiefs-Broncos could be a good game because the Chiefs always seem to make every game close. Commies-Steelers could be a good game because I think the Steelers' defense could give Jaden Daniels a lot of problems. Some of the decision-making that I see out of Jaden Daniels, Jaden Daniels is a great quarterback, and I think he's going to be a great quarterback in this league. But there are some things that make me scratch my head with Jaden Daniels. So it's kind of on the up and up, and I think a good defense could give him a lot of trouble. So I think the Steelers could hold their own in this one, but in the end of the day, I think the Commies are the better team, even though that's wild to say.
Didn't you be saying that beginning of the season at all? I just don't believe in that Steelers offense.
We both have the Vikings beating the Jaguars. That's not really too interesting of a game. The Falcons are playing the Saints this week. Should be an easy win for you. I've been shitting on the Falcons for the last couple weeks, but I guarantee you it'll be a close game. I have it 27-14. Probably going to be a close game.
I was like, you say it's an easy win. It's not going to be an easy win. We lost Drake London. I don't know. I didn't see how long he's out for, so hopefully he's back soon, but
our other differ of the week, the Bucks going up against the 49ers. The Bucks held their own against Kansas City last week, or I guess for us last night. This is at home. 49ers have been a struggling team this year, although this is the week Christian McCaffrey might come back. But if he does come back, how heavy of a workload are they going to give him? I think they're going to judge a lot of how much they need Christian McCaffrey based on this game, and I think the Bucks are just going to come out swinging. So I think the Bucks have the edge in this game. You're picking the 49ers. Obviously, I do think the 49ers, at the end of the day, at the end of the season, are going to be the better team, but I think right now this is the perfect circumstances for the Bucks to upset the 49ers.
It's hard because both the thing that I hate about this game is that literally both teams are really banged up. I think even whether McCaffrey plays or not, in my personal opinion, doesn't change my outcome because I think the Niners are and it's literally like by a hair, the slightly healthier team. And I would still feel that way with McCaffrey because of him coming off, I think it was like a hamstring injury or whatever injury he was like, he was gone for like half the year. It's really hard for me to pick the Niners in this situation, but it's also like the Bucks still aren't that much healthier either, if at all. Baker has been playing really, really well. I really can't see the Bucks overcoming those injuries still.
Couple boring games to kind of breeze past here. The Bills and the Colts, I think, could be an interesting game, but for the most part, probably won't be. Bears-Patriots, I think, is not going to be all that interesting, although we did just shit on the Bears a whole lot. I don't think the Patriots are all that good, although Drake May isn't bad.
The rookies have gotten better.
Titans Chargers I don't think is going to be all that interesting game. I mean, the Cowboys have one last chance to really turn the season around, and it's this game against the Eagles. I mean, I don't think they're going to win it, but I do think that if the Cowboys lose this game, their season's over, if it's not already.
Oh yeah, I don't know. You did nothing in the offseason. Like virtually nothing in the offseason. You did nothing at the trade deadline either. I can't realistically have optimism even for the Cowboys in any way, shape, or form. I really can't.
If we get the same Jets team that showed up against the Texans last week, the Cardinals-Jets game could be a great game. I do think the Cardinals have still proven to be the better team this year, and kind of, again, out of nowhere, another wild thing that I didn't think I would say.
Not underrated. Like, they're just like a solid team.
But they're an above 500 team, and I did not think I would say that past the trade deadline about the Arizona Cardinals. Speaking of solid teams, though, there's nothing that I'm seeing wrong with the Detroit Lions right now. And as good as I thought the Texans would be this season, and this is very close to what I had my Super Bowl pick being, I see no chance that the Texans win this game. I mean, unless the Lions just don't show up at all.
Yeah. The Texans win this game if they stop the run game. That's the only way they win this game. And even then, I still don't see it because Amon-Ra is going up.
The Texans have to move on offense. That's really the key.
That too, yeah.
They're only putting up maybe like 20-some-odd points a game, like low 20s points a game.
And like the Lions are putting up almost like 30, I think.
Yeah.
Like above 30.
That's going to be a tough one for the Texans. I mean, they're still going to lead the AFC South after this, and I'm sure they'll be fine for the playoffs going forward. But I think this really like kind of separates the men from the boys, where the Texans are an up-and-coming team. The Lions are here.
I will say this though, I'd be very worried if I'm a Texans fan if this is like a blowout. If this is not even a contest, that's like, oh shit.
That'll hurt.
Yeah.
And the last game of the week, the Rams and the Dolphins. The Rams have been kind of picking it up over the last couple weeks. The Dolphins, I mean, they have Tua back for God knows how long. I
was surprised you didn't pick the Dolphins still. Though.
No, I do think that the Rams have been on the up, and the Rams are one of those teams, if they're healthy, they can beat almost anyone in the league. It's just...
That's fair, yeah.
They got to be healthy, and the Dolphins are the epitome of not healthy. So I just don't see the Dolphins winning too many more games this season. But that is it for Nick's Picks Week 10. Drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And follow us over on Twitch. Make sure you follow Slowerr over on Twitch as well. All these links are in the description down below. And is there anything you have to say before we head out of here for Week 10?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of like iffy games this year.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I have not been as in tune with football this year as I have been over the last 4 years. This has been a weird year.
I think it's just, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna sound like a hater. I think it's just the Chiefs are kind of ruining it for me. Not because like, oh, they're undefeated. It's just like they're undefeated in games where it's like I feel like they should have lost.
I think my team being as god awful as they are is kind of ruining it for me more than anything.
That's been the case for like 5 years. Dude.
Yeah, but it's getting worse. Like I keep like every year I would come in here and say, yeah, we're bad, but this defense is starting to look good. Things are starting to look better. Yeah, and it's just at this point, our defense is only going to be good for the next couple of years because all the players that are good on the team now are going to either get traded away because they don't want to be on a god-awful team anymore, or they're going to need to get paid, and they're not going to be able to because you're going to have to pay a quarterback at some point.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, week 3 or 4, whatever it was, we were like, oh, the Cowboys might actually be a good team. And I said, no, they won't. And since then, the Cowboys have also been ass. So pat yourself on the back for that, at least.
Have a great one. Peace.
He'll be in a better mood next week.
No, I won't. Even if the Giants win, no, I won't.
I think you'll be in a worse mood if the Giants win because that's a worse draft pick. You're in a lose-lose situation. I'm sorry. My team's good, though, so bye, guys.